How's it going, guys? It's Diggle from SGN back with another Mortal Kombat video, and this is going to be my top 5 most overrated Mortal Kombat characters. And I know this list is going to ruffle quite a few feathers because a lot of you guys are going to see your favorite characters on this list, or at least favorite characters that you really love. And this isn't really a video about me hating on them. It's just that, in my opinion, these characters, based on what they bring to the story and based on what they actually, bring to the table in general, they get a lot more screen time, they get a lot more, roster slots, and just a lot more publicity in general than they actually deserve. And before I get into the video, I want to say big shout out to Judgment Fist for providing me with awesome thumbnails, awesome art, and just in general for being a great person. And definitely go check her out on Instagram and Twitter at Judgment_Fist. See her awesome art and just show her some love. I hope that this collaboration between me and her will build on in the future and we can bring you some awesome content together. So definitely give her some love. Now, moving on to the list, I have number 5, Goro. And personally, Goro has always been one of my favorite characters. I think especially because of the Mortal Kombat movie. Unfortunately, over the years, we've continuously seen him just kind of be overlooked, and his story doesn't really develop. Like, if you look at what he was at the very beginning, he was the original Mortal Kombat champion. He destroyed Great Kung Lao to take over the mantle as the Mortal Kombat champion and really held the title for a very long time until he was finally defeated by Liu Kang. So in my opinion, that was really awesome. He had so much history behind him, and he was just seen as this extremely powerful force that pretty much couldn't be beaten. Of course, Liu Kang beat him, and from then he just kind of became a guy who gets beaten up by Liu Kang or by whoever the champion is. We saw him come back in Mortal Kombat 4 with an okay story. They actually gave him something a little bit more interesting, but they never really developed him further. And then in MK9, he was once again just as old Goro, got beat up by Liu Kang, had the rematch, got beat up by Kung Lao, and then we saw him in MKX as just a pre-order bonus. And he was cool to play as, he was okay, but overall, He's just so beloved as a character, but does he really deserve that much love? I mean, just because of the nostalgia probably, but overall, I think he gets a lot more than he deserves. And I hope that they do bring him back in some sort of way, but actually improve him, make him relevant to the story again, and really make him worth playing and worth having in the actual game. In my opinion, as for now though, he's definitely overrated, and he does most certainly fit on this list. Next up, it is Ermac, and I think that Ermac is only in the games nowadays because there wasn't really a major sorcerer except for maybe Quan Chi, and maybe they have something in line for him in the future. Like, because of the fact that he has so many souls inside of him and the fact that he has Shao Kahn's souls, maybe they're going to use him in the future as something very, very powerful and as a way to bring back Shao Kahn. But other than that, he's pretty much just there to get his ass beat, and that's going to be a very common theme throughout this entire video. There's just a lot of characters that are pretty much just been reduced to being, cannon fodder. They're just there to get beat up by the heroes. In Ermac, he has awesome look. I like his moveset. I like his fatalities in MKX. But overall, what's he really there to do? Just get beat up. And a lot of people love him. I used to like him a lot. But as time goes on, I'm getting more and more sick of him. He's getting more and more useless. And as of now, I have to consider him a very overrated character. Moving on to ones I think are going to be they're going to bring a lot of controversy to this video. It is Reptile, and I have to say, it was really hard for me to put him on this list, but I think it's deserving, and I'll tell you why. Reptile was the very first major secret in Mortal Kombat, being just an amazing secret for Mortal Kombat 1. So many things had to fall in place, and you had to do so many things that took a lot of skill to be able to face Reptile in the pit. Once you did that, you just felt so accomplished, and as time went on, more and more people saw that, and he became just this cult character in all of gaming history. Like, everybody knows that Reptile is so awesome because of how secret he was. But moving forward, was he really anything other than an awesome secret character that had some nostalgia and who was also just a palette swap? Not really. In Mortal Kombat 2, they explained him a little bit more. He was one of Shang Tsung's guards, and he became one of Shao Kahn's men and stuff like that. But moving forward, he just kept on being a henchman. He just kept on remaining being somebody's guard. It was the same thing basically for Onaga, where he made him a little bit more important because he was actually the body that Onaga used to come back to life. That was kind of cool, but Reptile was just kind of gone at this point. And it continues to happen. He was the only person left of his race, except for maybe Chameleon and the other Chameleon. So they might be something interesting if they bring them back. But as of right now, ever since Mortal Kombat 2, he has pretty much just been a henchman. And that is the epitome of garbage for a character who has such a major cult following. They have so much potential there. He's an awesome character. He has such an awesome look. As he moves forward, he continues to degenerate and become just a weirder character, become an absolute lizard from just being a regular ninja. They have so much potential there, but they continue to fail to use him. They continue to fail to really untap that potential that he really, really has. And until they find a way to actually bring him the honor, just the badassery that character deserves, he's going to continue to be on this list. Moving on to number 2 on this list, we have a character that's probably going to be liked by a lot of people just based on nostalgia, not really based on what she actually brings to the table nowadays. It is Sonya Blade. Now, in my opinion, in the first 2 games, Sonya was really, really cool. I liked her outfit in Mortal Kombat 1, and of course it wasn't anything all that special, but it was kind of cool. You know, she was just a special forces chick who was out there just being a badass, and if I'm not mistaken, she was the first woman in a video game to be that cool and really go out there and just kill somebody for the sake of humanity. And I really like that about her, but moving forward over the years, she has become more and more bland, and especially in Mortal Kombat 9 and Mortal Kombat X, she is basically just this old, mean woman who really doesn't have any reason to be there except for just bitching to Johnny Cage. And it's kind of a shame because, like I said, from a nostalgia point of view, she's really cool. But she just continues, as time goes on, continues to be more and more annoying, less and less interesting. And now with Kano being in prison, does she really have a point of being there? Not really. I mean, she still has the connection to Cassie Cage and Johnny Cage, but they're both way more interesting than she is. I'll have a lot more relevancy to the story. And overall, I just think that Sonya has really no reason of being there. And I would like to see her coming back later on, like after maybe the next 2 or 3 games, have a cameo, not necessarily as a main roster position, but possibly have a reason for her to be there and really have an emotional point in the story. Maybe her being old, maybe dying or something like that. But overall, I just think that she's so random at this point in time, just so bland, and really is an overrated character. Because a lot of times, I do see a lot of people being like, yeah, but Sonya may be garbage in the last basically 10 years, but in the first 2 games, she was so cool. She was such a badass and stuff like that. But are you really going to judge a character based on their, a small portion of their history or the entire history of their character? I judge them on their entirety, the entirety of what they've done throughout the years, not just based on 2 games. And if you look at it, she's really garbage, really boring, and has really no point of being there. And number 1, and this is a character that, in my opinion, has so much potential, and they have really, really just run him into the dirt, and it is Kano. Much like Sonya, he was really just one-sided. There was really nothing to him apart from one thing, and that was selling weapons to bad guys and annoying the shit out of Sonya. And Kano, from the movie, I really liked him. From then on, they really adopted the characters in the video games that they had in the movie. He was this asshole from Australia who was just a piece of shit who had no respect for anybody, especially for Sonya. And I really liked that for a while. It's just that after so many years, after basically 25 years of them having the same exact storyline for Sonya and Kano, the time has come for them to just end it. And I think that they kind of did that with MKX, where they basically have him arrested. Unfortunately, I kind of see him coming back eventually and basically just continuing this little dumbass rivalry he has with Sonya. As things stand, I think he's really boring. I like his look, and I like his moves, but overall, from a story point of view, is what I really care about. He's just become bland. He's become boring. He's become the epitome of repetitive, and I just want to see him gone. And I definitely don't find any pleasure in saying that because, like I said, early on in the Mortal Kombat history, I really liked him. I liked his look. I liked his moves. I liked him being an asshole. I just liked him overall, especially because of the Mortal Kombat movie, like I said. But as of now, he's just kind of there. He's just kind of randomly there, not really doing anything, important to the story except for just selling weapons to people that Sonya hates. It's boring as shit. It's repetitive as shit. And the time has come to get rid of him. And all these characters, in my opinion, have a lot more potential than they've actually been shown to have. They have so much untapped potential. But as of now, they're irrelevant, they're repetitive, and they're just kind of there. So let me know in the comment section down below, guys. What do you think of the list I put together? Do you think that any of these characters are deserving of being on this list? Which ones do you think shouldn't be on the list? Let me know in the comment section down below. And which in particular of all the Mortal Kombat characters do you think are just extremely overrated? Let me know. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell, that way you will always get a notification every time I upload a video, and you're one click away from watching the video. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.